Hello everyone, this is Chris, and in the excitement of the 1.17.10 update, many people are presumably going to want to turn on the experimental toggle for their long-term survival worlds. And while, the excitement for the brand new caves and the brand new mountains is very, very prominent and very high, in my opinion, I don't think people should do that, or I don't think people should do that, quite yet, as I'm going to list off a few things as to, need fixing or need improving inside the experimental toggles for 1.18. And I'm telling you not to, because I feel like the experience of the new caves and mountains and stuff will be that much better when all these little issues and improvements are implemented inside the game. And starting off with the first one, well, a few of the first ones to do with the brand new mountains. So there's a few things that I think need fixing to do with the mountains, and one of the most prominent ones, which I always checked inside the betas, is the fact that the mountains always got capped at Y256. Now you could make the argument that this is for performance reasons or something like that, but as you can see, I'm not dealing with too many performance issues. We will get to performance a little bit later, but as you can see, like, I'm on a pretty high-end PC, and while there is a little bit of jitteriness and stuff like that, I don't think it's quite as bad as some people might think. So raising it just a little bit, like, to the whatever this used to be before they made the change inside the betas to Y300 or something like that, really isn't too much of a performance hike or something like that. And speaking of performance, I think that's something that really needs to be worked on a little bit. Again, I'm running a fairly decent PC. I have a pretty high specs and stuff like that, but not everyone has that experience. And even with that, I'm running on 56 chunks right now, and even then, I'm getting some little jitters here and there. So I really think some optimization things to do with especially the brand new mountains with the the vertical height and stuff like that really needs to be looked into at least a little bit. And something else that needs to be looked into with the new mountains is the fact that biome blending doesn't really work that well. You can see that we go from basically the brand new mountains to plains biome. I know with the most recent Java edition, I guess technical snapshot, or not quite the real snapshot, that they did sort of fix this with their mountains, so it's only a matter of time that they fix this. But as of right now, the biome blending doesn't really work that well. Like, you're in a plains right now, and then you just go straight into a mountain. So yeah, biome blending needs working just a little bit. Wow, I can't believe I did that in one clip. And speaking of things I can't believe, this next feature kind of had me kind of stumped as to how they actually managed to miss this. Granted, it's betas and experimental stuff, but still. And if I look around the world, you might have noticed something missing. I'll give you a second to try and spot it out, or spot the lack of it, but yeah, there is absolutely no normal cave entrance at all. There's not a single one to be spotted. The only normal, I guess, cave entrances, if you want to call it that, are watery cave entrances, which, for exploring the brand new caves, especially on, your first time going down here, you don't really want to have to deal with them, going through water and things like that. But, yeah, small little tips, small little sidetrack, in case you do happen to do this. All you have to do for most of them is just dig down by one or two, and then you are inside of a non-watery cave. But still, to have basically, I believe it's around about the first 32 blocks of the world depth being just completely submerged in water, just tanks the experience a little bit. Like, it makes it that much hard to experience the brand new types of caves and stuff. So having like proper cave entrances rather than just the watery cave entrances would be a very welcome addition, or re-edition, as we have already had them in the normal vanilla 1.17 edition. And while we're on the topic of the underground, there's one huge element of the underground which has been missing from Bedrock Edition for the longest time, which I'm kind of shocked that it hasn't been introduced, especially with this block right here. And yeah, you probably have a good idea as to what I'm talking about. Basically, below Y0, what is supposed to spawn down here is not stone, but pretty much just a deep slate. But as of right now, all we get is stone, which makes it very hard to distinguish from one depth of the world to another, unless if you count, I guess, the deep slate and the tough and stuff like that right there. But still, even at that, it's still kind of tricky to look at this and say that, yeah, we are very deep underground right now. And I guess because commands are a thing, we could kind of show as to how that would look like. So yeah, basically the entirety of below Y0 should be made completely out of deep slate. Something I guess a little bit like this, but with, you know, deep slate diamonds and other types of things like that. But yeah, to still have it completely stone, just kind of, I don't know, I was a little bit hesitant with having everything being deep slate at the bottom, but now that everything is stone and now that I am experiencing it, I'm kind of just like, you know, this has been a long thing overdue. We really need to have the deep slate caves far underneath the depths of the earth. And apart from some of the obvious things like the warden and other things like that, I think if they at least fix the cave entrances and the cliff stuff, I think we'd have a much better situation. And I think I'd recommend actually using the experimental features that much more. But as of right now, it's a thing that, you know, if you really want to, you can totally do that. You could totally make the most of some type of new caves and cliffs generation, but be warned that you do get some very unfinished and very unpolished style things around the place. But you know what? The game is yours. No one can tell you what you can and cannot do, as the slogan always tells you. But yeah, what do you think of these features or these little issues around the place? Do you think they're as bad as I make them out to be? Whatever you think, let me know down below. But for now, thanks for watching, and I shall see you all later.